If you're going to work tomorrow because that's what you did yesterday, you're not going to be as good tomorrow as you were yesterday.
I'd never had anybody say something like that to me. You could be a great one. You could be the national champion. You know, some people are about as committed as a kamikaze pilot on his 39th mission.
When I was a boy, during the Depression, we lived next door to some rich folks. I knew they were rich for two reasons. Number one, they had a cook. Number two, the cook had something to cook.
Where would my integrity be if I came here unprepared to make something, a presentation that could make a difference in your life?
And when I choose to eat too much today, I have chosen to weigh too much tomorrow. You see, most people never dare to evaluate really where they are.
Zig, they tell me you could sell anything to anybody. I said, yeah, they lied to you. So many times, you know, the employee goes to the employer and says, give me a raise, and I'll start coming to work on time.
He was an American author, salesman, and motivational speaker. He served in the United States Navy during World War II from 1943 to 1945. In 1968, he became vice president and training director of the Automotive Performance Company. He's Zig Ziglar, and here's my take on his top 10 rules for success.
When you're asleep, ladies and gentlemen, you need your dreams. I'm here to tell you that when you're wide awake, you also need your dreams. You must have your goals. You'll never make it as a wandering generality. You must become a meaningful specific. If you're going to work tomorrow because that's what you did yesterday, you're not going to be as good tomorrow as you were yesterday because now you're 2 days older and no closer to the goal which you do not have. You can't make it as a wandering generality.
Tell us about some of the jobs that you've held over the years selling and what you've sold and some of the lessons that you learned in selling over the years.
Well, I sold heavy-duty waterless cookware on the door-to-door demonstration plan, and that was a marvelous experience. It took me, the first 2.5 years, I struggled financially. Now, that doesn't mean I didn't sell a lot, because I did. I sold my furniture, sold my car. And that's fairly close to the truth, it really was. Then I went to a meeting, and a man named P.C. Merrill, who's an American Indian, persuaded me that I could be the #1 salesman in America out of the 7,000-member sales force. He said, you've got everything that it takes to be a great salesman if you just believed in yourself and went to work on a regular schedule.
And this is the cookware business.
That's
still.
right.
Okay.
And I put on the demonstration, door-to-door sales and so forth. I'd never had anybody say something like that to me. You could be a great one. You could be the national champion. Now, I've always been loved, but nobody ever thought of me as a champion. Because of Mr. Merrill's integrity, and because he had written the training program, and because he had set all of the records, I took him absolutely at his word. The previous year, I had not been in the top 5,000 out of that 7,000-member sales force. But the year after Mr. Merrill got through with me, I was #2 out of the 7,000. Had received the best promotion that was available in the company at that time. And the interesting thing about the success that year, he did not really teach me that much about sales. I'd been in it 2.5 years at that point. But what he did teach me was about who I was. The picture I had of myself changed dramatically. I started thinking as a champion and performing as a champion. And I did finish #2 and had that wonderful promotion. A commitment plays heavily in everything. If you've made a commitment, when you hit the rough spots, not if, when you hit the rough spots, your immediate thought is, how can I solve the problem? If you've not made the commitment when you hit the rough spot, whether it's in marriage or education or career or whatever, your first thought is, man, how can I get out of this deal? And so that commitment plays a huge role. And as you know, some people are about as committed as a kamikaze pilot on his 39th mission. I mean, they don't really take it that seriously.
I was raised in the little town of Yazoo City, Mississippi. Now, I know that a lot of folks go around the country trying to impress people by claiming to be from Yazoo City. But I really am. Now, when I was a boy, during the Depression, we lived next door to some rich folks. I knew they were rich for two reasons. Number one, they had a cook. Number two, the cook had something to cook. And during the depression, that was a sure sign of wealth. I was over there for lunch one day, as I tried to be every day. And now don't misunderstand that. Even though there was a depression on, we certainly had plenty to eat at my house.